Alto is required to summon and create a contract with a familiar at the Ortigia Academy of Magic or Risk, receiving a failing grade. After failing the summoning spell the first time, he finds an old book and uses the spell inside to call forth Vermal, a naked demon girl. She kisses him to drain his mana and promises to serve him as a token of her appreciation for his summoning her out of captivity. He rejects her attempts to seduce him and forces her to wear his sister's outfit and shoes instead. She hides her horns and tail to pass for human when he introduces her to the class as his familiar. In an act of jealousy, Vermal's childhood friend Lilia challenges them to a duel. If she wins, Vermal will avoid Alto, and if he wins, she will follow his orders. Sylphide, Lilia's familiar, launches a potent wind attack, which Vermal easily parries before using magic to make Lilia so excited that she forfeits. Lilia is required by Alto to be Vermal's friend. Alto doesn't believe Vermal when she later claims that Lilia loves him. She drains him once more with a kiss and claims she must do this or else she will vanish. She tries to seduce him, claiming that sex would give her more mana, but he stops her and says a simple kiss will do. Vermal stuns everyone by flicking his finger to send a raging dragon hurtling toward the horizon. Alto chastises her for making a spectacle of herself. The owner of the dragon and his older brother, Rex, attempt to intimidate them with Rex's dinosaur companion, but Vermal boosts Alto's mana, enabling him to overpower them with his crystal magic. Alto claims that he aspires to become a magnificent mage, and Vermal concurs. The following day, they and Lilia meet up with their friends Marx and Cheryl. The headmaster then informs them that the class representative will be the one who can successfully retrieve a fairy flower from the forest. Marx is knocked unconscious during the race by a man-eating plant, leaving Cheryl to tend to him. Lilia consumes an invisibility potion after the others discover a cold-ridden Cerberus guarding the flower. Her clothes, however, are unaffected, so she is compelled to throw them away. Alto and Vermal defeat the Cerberus because one of its heads was functioning properly and allowed it to detect her. The flower is obtained by Lilia, but the invisibility fades. She drops the flower out of embarrassment, and it blows into Cheryl's hands. The others congratulate her after she is chosen for the position. For the first time, Vermal enjoys eating contemporary cuisine. The dragon riders then pass by, and everyone comments on Chris, one of their number. After physical education, Cheryl urges Lilia to tell Alto how she feels while Lilia questions whether Vermal is actually human given her extraordinary abilities. Vermal creates a scene by entering the boys' locker room after Alto. Later, Vermal comes into Alto's shower and makes another attempt to entice him. Because Rex lost to Alto and because his familiar is a dinosaur rather than a dragon, Chris beats him up and kicks him out of the dragon riders. Alto yells at Chris to a duel after finding out what transpired. After accepting, she summons her dragon. Alto's mana is amplified by Vermal, but Chris' fire spells are strong enough to break Alto's crystal structures and harm Vermal when she blocks them. Chris soars into the sky on her dragon, proclaiming that all other creatures, including dinosaurs, are inferior and that dragons are the supreme beings. Alto receives yet another supercharge from Vermal, who is determined to disprove her. By using the construct as a diversion, Alto and Vermal are able to approach Chris and slay her with a crystal shiv, winning the duel. Lilia is envious of Alto because of his success with the ladies, but Professor Obsidian warns him not to take battles lightly. Chris apologizes to Rex and completes her own chores. Alto forbids Vermal from kissing him, so she confesses her love after she makes another attempt to seduce him. Obsidian responds that demons only desire humans for mana when the troubled man inquires about human/demon romances. Vermal is confronted by Alto, but she disproves him by giving him a kiss without draining him. Emma Abelian, a student, is lured by Obsidian, who then injects her with something and leaves her encased in ice. The student council debates whether Emma is the third student to have been attacked after she is saved but is left in a coma. Report writing assignments on familiars are given to the class. Alto reluctantly takes Vermal's body measurements. After confiding in Cheryl with her clothes, Lilia obviously uses the invisibility potion to spy on them. Lilia is blissful as Alto carelessly brushes her nipple. Alto lists his sweets as Vermal's preference on his report, but Vermal also includes Alto. Meanwhile, Chris and her dragon were attacked by a possessed Rex and his mutated dinosaur. In a flashback, Chris assisted Rex in hatching his summoned dinosaur while he thought it was a dragon egg. Vermal humiliates Alto by displaying public affection, and Rex's brother then implores them for assistance. Chris can withstand Rex's fire spells and his body is beginning to mutate as she continues to beat him up. Rex declares that he wants to exact revenge on Alto as well as his brother, Alto, and Vermal, but Elena, the president of the student council, shows up and uses her sword to knock Rex and his dinosaur out cold, obliterating their various growths. Chris keeps an eye on Rex in the hospital. Vermal leaves as an exam is about to start, and Lilia is eager to study with Alto alone. When Vermal and Obsidian first meet, she informs him that he is the one who is attacking the students and begs him to stop. However, after injecting her with something that hurts, he causes her to release dark energy. Everyone can sense it, and Elena rushes to the area, but she is stopped by a monster Obsidian summoned. Vermal turns into an uncontrollable monster and Obsidian gloats as Alto dashes to the scene. Obsidian's monster, which regenerates after each attack, is fought by Elena. To control Vermal, Obsidian ties a magic chain around her neck. Obsidian boasts that he was attacking people and injecting them with demon essence in an effort to turn them into demons, but now he has a real demon as Alto and Lilia arrive. Alto shields Obsidian when Vermal breaks the chain and attacks, but he is impaled by her claws as she attacks. She attacks Obsidian once more out of rage, but Alto once more blocks her and warns her not to kill before passing out. Alto is healed as Vermal resumes his normal state. Obsidian freaks out, claiming that demons aren't supposed to be able to heal, and after injecting himself with his formula, changes into a hideous demon with a vow to annihilate everyone. He is easily punched through by Vermal. He flies away in a fit of panic, but Vermal knocks him out and Chris shoots him down. The beast that Elena was battling flees. All of Obsidian's victims awaken from their comas as he is being apprehended. Later, Vermal somberly informs Alto that in order to heal him, she connected their life forces so that if either of them passes away, the other will as well. Vermal then turns cold toward Alto and advises her to keep her monster form to herself because that is who she really is. She becomes agitated as Alto kisses her and replies that he doesn't care. While the boys gripe that Vermal stopped showing up to class, the girls lament the passing of Obsidian. When Lilia first encounters Vermal, she tells him that, despite being a demon, she is not evil and that she trusts Alto to control her if she ever loses control again. Alto and Vermal make up and share a kiss when Vermal enters the room. A warlock and witch by the names of Iolite and Heliodor talk about Obsidian's failure and label him a fool, after slaughtering a church's occupants, but they will finish their research because it was interesting. To the perverted delight of the boys, Vermal changes into a school uniform that is just a little bit too small for her and joins Alto in class. The two are abruptly detained by the student council. Elena apologizes for being unable to aid them in their fight against Obsidian and informs them that the latter has escaped from custody. All of a sudden, they seize Alto by the sword and demand the truth. They have no other option but to admit that Vermal is a demon and that their life forces are intertwined. Jessica, a member of the student council, wants to destroy Vermal, so she is shocked when Elena accepts this and says Vermal is not evil. Alto is then welcomed to the student council by Elena. Alto accepts Elena's offer despite being dubious of her intentions, making Lilia, Marks, and Cheryl happy. Later, Vermal cautions him that she thinks Elena is not a human. The two watch Elena, Chris, and Jessica change as they enter a council meeting. Elena and Chris merely say that it was their fault for not locking the door as Jessica panics. Elena displays a fragment of the monster she fought. Inspecting it, they discover a form of magic they have never seen before. In the meantime, Kohakumiya, the creature's master, greets Iolite and Heliodor. She becomes upset when Iolite admits that he killed a potential recruit before he and Heliodor depart to hunt down Alto and Vermal. In his dream, Alto sees a young Vermal crying in a burned-out city. A woman then tells him to decide whether to save humanity by saving Vermal or to destroy humanity by saving humanity. He wakes up anxious about his upcoming exam, so Vermal kisses him to first supercharge and then drain his anxiety. Attending the exam are students from across the nation. The professor exhibits a crystal ball with a flame inside and instructs them to add mana to the flame in order to enlarge it. Many students attempt, but are unable to extinguish the flame and fall short. Lilia understands that the reason is that they are concentrating their mana on the crystal rather than the flame. She can easily make the flame large. Marx only just manages to influence it and pass, while Cheryl and a student from another school also help to fan the flame. Alto is the last. He realizes that one can pour mana more easily by approaching the crystal from behind, but Vermal encourages him to show off, so he does so and causes the flame to be so large that it shatters the crystal. He says he's sorry, but the teacher says he passes. Before the written test, Alto and his friends go on a picnic and support one another. Alto is almost late as Vermal drags him into a hallway for a kiss. The student from the other school complains about Alto's braggadocio while using the restroom, but Iolite sneaks in, kills him, and then steals his test ticket. Elena and Jessica are practicing fencing in the meantime. After Elena triumphs, they talk about Alto and Vermal while taking a shower. Elena claims that they are obviously in love while Jessica still finds it hard to believe that he conjured a demon. Vermal must wait outside while Alto enters the test room. Alto is seated next to Iolite, who enters and wishes him luck. Vermal is sitting outside in boredom when she recalls Alto's assurances of her safety. Alto panics when Iolite nods off as soon as the test begins, but focuses on passing it. Iolite eventually gets out of bed, finishes the test in a matter of seconds, and then makes fun of Alto for being slow. A guard reports finding the murdered student's body as the professor chastises him for talking, at which point he realizes Iolite is not a student. Iolite claims to have taken the exam merely for amusement before conjuring a stone golem to trample the professor's legs. Vermal and the instructor from the first exam arrive as all of the students leave with the exception of Alto. Lilia, Marx, and Cheryl are coerced out of the building by guards, but when they try to return, a space warp sends them back outside. Despite all of their assaults, the golem manages to seize Vermal. Iolite summons more golems and impales Alto's shoulder as he explodes with rage and smashes the golem. When Alto inquires about his desires, the man replies that his group plans to wipe out the human race using demons. Vermal transforms into a monster, but Iolite quickly takes care of that. He attempts to kill Alto, but the book he used to conjure Vermal protects him, and then the dream woman materializes. She asserts that she is the remembrance of Vermal's sealer, the mage of the beginning. In response to Iolite's attempt to attack, she stops time and sends Alto into Vermal's memories. He awakens in the past 550 years to find a young Vermal playing happily. According to the mage of the beginning, Vermal and the orphans Miel, Lynn, and Kate were all raised by nuns. She was a demon, but they didn't care. The town people became enraged and besieged the church after discovering Vermal was a demon and being held responsible for a plague that had struck the nation. Vermal was urged to flee by Miel, and she came close before she overheard someone threaten to kill her family. Her family had been hanged when she turned around, but it was too late. She lost her cool as the mob closed in on her, turned into her monster form for the first time, killed everyone, and set the town on fire. The mage claims that this was her crime and the reason she was sealed as Alto is horrified by what he had seen. Alto interacts with Vermal and consoles her after discovering he can. She changes into adult Vermal and sobs that her crime cannot be undone, but he dismisses her cries and gives her a passionate kiss. He declares his love for her as they come to in the real world. They tell Iolite to shut up and combine their powers to destroy the enormous golem that he summons and claims Vermal's only goal is to destroy the world. A portal allows Heliodor and Iolite to flee after she says she can no longer maintain the space warp. The mage of the beginning, according to Vermal, is Fatima. Alto is urged to take care of Vermal by Fatima, who describes Vermal as a close friend. Fatima then fixes the structure before disappearing. Later, Alto receives fencing and martial arts instruction from Jessica and Chris in an effort to grow stronger so he can defend Vermal. Due to his inexperience and lack of strength, he is easily defeated in sparring, but he strives to get better. Vermal declares her love for him in bed. They all concur when Elena says in a student council meeting that they must band together to stop these assaults. All three of Lilia's test takers, Marx, Cheryl, and them, passed, but when Alto doesn't appear, Lilia becomes suspicious that he might be seeing Vermal. Indeed, they are sharing a public kiss as they celebrate their love and commitment to one another.